It's week 36 in the Premier League, and this is going to prove to be a pivotal one, as Newcastle will take on Chelsea, and there's a lot more riding in this top 5 race. Welcome to the Footy Network. Afternoon, everybody. Hope you're doing well, and welcome to the Footy Network, where we're going to go through this pivotal week in especially the top 5 race for those Champions League positions. If you're enjoying the content, please don't forget to hit that like button and make sure you're subscribed to the Footy Network. And if you want to grab me a coffee, you can scan this QR code as well. So without further ado, let's jump straight into it and start with the first game. St Mary's Stadium will see Southampton taking on Manchester City. And Southampton, man, I keep trying, but get me that 1 point. But I don't think they will be doing it. Already relegated, coming up against a Manchester City team who are now back into robot mode. They've got 4 W's in a row, undefeated in the last 5 games, and a ticket in the FA Cup final as well. Manchester City look like they're comfortably going to make it in this top 5 race. In fact, I think they may finish second. Where do you guys think Man City finish? In fact, let me know your top 5 currently as things stand. So I think this is going to be a comfortable away win, and this all but secures Manchester City into the top 5, probably needing another point after this, I think, to be guaranteed. I'm going to go Southampton 0, Manchester City 3. But if Southampton could produce some kind of miracle, I would be up for it. I would be up for it. Get your thoughts in. Craven Cottage will be the settings for the second game in this weekend's fixtures as Fulham take on Everton. And Fulham have had a setback. I think they're still in this 8th position race, which could end up being a Europa Conference position. But losing to Aston Villa has not helped their cause. Currently 11th in the table on 51 points, only 2 points behind Bournemouth in 8th. So this is very much still alive for Fulham. Everton, they're fully on the beach now, 14th, 39 points, throwing away a 2-goal lead against Ipswich to end up drawing against them, leaving them with 1 win in their last 5 games and going back to this draw routine. However, I think because of this, I expect Fulham to have one last swing at trying to get some consistency in their form. Can they win this and push themselves back in contention for the potential Europa Conference League spot? And my answer is yes. I'm going to go Fulham 1, Everton 0. But I think Fulham are one of the hardest teams to predict this season due to that inconsistency. But I'm going to back them this weekend. Do you guys agree? Molineux will see game number 3 as Wolves take on Brighton, and Wolves have turned it around, man. They're miles away from the relegation zone. When only a few weeks back, they were still worried about going down. But they have finally taken an L after a really impressive win streak. That does keep them 13th in the table and definitely on the beach right now. Brighton, on the other hand, got a good point against Newcastle at home in the previous game's week. Could have and maybe should have held on for all 3 if it wasn't for a clown-like penalty giveaway for handball. But they are still in, I would say, a Conference League fight, sitting in 10th on 52 points, 1 point behind Bournemouth in 8th. So they're going to need a win. But I just feel Wolves at Molineux have been pretty decent of late. And I am going to back a home win here. I'm going to go Wolves 2, Brighton 1. I've just been impressed with Wolves of late, and I think they want to finish with a bang this season. But do you guys agree? Portman Road will see game number 4 as Ipswich will host Brentford, and Ipswich are down and out and relegated. Back to the Championship they are going. But will they want to put on a couple of performances in front of their home crowd before they wave the Premier League goodbye? I'm not sure. Not much to play for apart from pride. Brentford, on the other hand, are now on a 3-win streak. And they are well in this run for this Europa Conference League spot, if it even becomes available, by the way, in the league. Currently sitting 9th in the table, 1 point behind 8th place Bournemouth, and will need another win and probably fancy their chances here as well. Their last win came against Manchester United. They were 4-1 up. It ends up 4-3, but the points will be all that matters to them right now. And I think this one will be yet another W for them. I'm going to go Ipswich 1, Brentford 2. I think they should have enough with Visser and Mbeumo up front to get something, well, 3 points out of this game. But the Premier League does throw some curveballs. Will this be one of them? The Vitality Stadium will see Bournemouth taking on Aston Villa, and this is probably first of the key fixtures as both teams have a lot to play for still with the remaining games of this season. Bournemouth are currently sitting in pole position for the Europa Conference League, 8th in the league, and actually form-wise they're undefeated in the last 5, getting a win in their last game against Arsenal, coming from a goal behind. So Bournemouth will be full of high spirits, and Aston Villa on the other hand have picked up a win, as we talked about earlier, against Fulham, sitting 7th, and I think they have to go perfect to get themselves into the top 5 if they want Champions League football again at Villa Park, because their goal difference is currently the worst out of the 7 teams, well 6 teams technically, that are vying for those positions. This one is going to be a tough one to call, and I want your guys' opinions on it in the comments. I think it's going to be Villa's toughest game. I expect them to beat both Spurs and Manchester United in their final 2 games. Spoiler alert for next week. But I think they will struggle on this one. Bournemouth will need to win to put that chasing pack behind them. But I think these teams match up quite well. So I'm going to go Bournemouth 1, Aston Villa 1. Honours even. But this could actually knock them out of the race for the Champions League. What do you guys think? St James's Park will see the biggest game of this weekend, in my opinion, as Newcastle will take on Chelsea. And this is 4th versus 5th, both on exactly the same points and both on exactly the same goal difference and both fighting for those top 5 places. This one is so hard to call. Under normal circumstances, you would expect Newcastle at St James's Park, with their good fan base, to be able to pull off a win. But Chelsea have found form suddenly. 3 wins in a row, 5 undefeated, and looking like a team. And I think that's mainly because Lavia is back and he is fit. So how does this work out? What do I want as a Forest fan on this? I don't know is the answer. Ideally, I'd like Newcastle and Forest to both qualify for the Champions League. But obviously, my club comes first. And I can actually see all 3 outcomes happening. I could see a Newcastle win, I could see a Chelsea win, and a draw. But I just think, with Chelsea's current form, they may sneak this one. I'm going to go Newcastle 1, Chelsea 2. I'm saying it with no certainty and no idea which result really helps my club, but I've just got a feeling Chelsea have hit form at the right time. But what do you guys think? Old Trafford sees probably one of the deadest games of this weekend as Manchester United take on West Ham. And this is Manchester United, who are 15th, against West Ham, who are 17th. Both without a care in the world in the Premier League. Both safe. Both still haven't hit the 40-point mark, though. Manchester United, all eyes obviously on Europe for them on Thursday. They look like they should be already through. And West Ham are just playing some dead football under Harry Potter. Look, the only thing that could impact this are if Manchester United were to rest some players, but I don't actually see that being the case because this will be post the Thursday night match. So I think they'll probably put out a strong team. Well, strong in relation to how crap they are. I think Manchester United win this. I'm going to go Manchester United 3, West Ham 1. I know that's going to shock a lot of you. Probably the first time ever that I've predicted Manchester United to win. And it's not because I went West Ham down and out for when Forest play them next week. Or is it? What do you guys think? The world famous City Ground will see Forest taking on East Midlands rivals-ish Leicester. And this is a big game. Not for Leicester. Well, maybe for Leicester. Leicester fans, talk to me. Do you care about this game? Do you want to stop Forest charge for the European, for the top 5 positions? Or is it more about Vardy getting his 200th goal for you? Forest, on the other hand, have to win this game, with Newcastle and Chelsea playing each other and potentially both or one of them losing points. This is a chance and a huge opportunity for Forest to get themselves back to where they've been for most of this season. And this is a game you would love to pick every day of the week. If you could play a team, you're either going to say Leicester, Spurs, or Manchester United. So Forest can't complain about the team that's up in front of them. And I think the atmosphere will be electric when Forest and Leicester face each other. But will the boys be able to produce the goods on the pitch? My answer is yes. I'm going Forest 4, Leicester 1. I think Vardy gets his goal and Forest get their 3 points and help their goal difference move, further away from Aston Villa. And I think Leicester fans will be happy with a 4-1 loss if Vardy scores his goal. So everyone can leave here quite happy. What do you guys think? Tottenham Stadium will see Tottenham taking on Palace, and probably not much riding on this one either. Spurs are very much just the same as Man U, aren't they? All eyes are focused on Europe, and Palace will definitely have all eyes focused on the cup final. Palace drawing with Forest, putting a strong team out. Will Glasner do the same again? He did it when they played Arsenal. He just seems to, if you're fit, you're playing kind of attitude. And it all depends, are Spurs in the final? They should be. This one has absolutely nothing riding on it. Maybe a little bit of London pride. Spurs can't really catch Crystal Palace. Crystal Palace is currently 12th in the table on 46 points, and Spurs are on 38 points. Maybe a win here gets them over the magic 40 mark. But this is a dead game, and I'm going to go for a draw. I'm going to go Spurs 1, Crystal Palace 1. Or maybe they just open up and we see a goal fest. Who knows? But either way, do either fan base really care about this one? Anfield will see game number 10 and final game of this weekend as Liverpool take on Arsenal. And this was down as potentially a title decider towards maybe November time or something like that. And now the only thing we're going to see decided is whether or not Arsenal give Liverpool a guard of honour, which they probably will do. But having said that, Arsenal are not yet quite safe in this top 5 race because they are not in a title race anymore as Liverpool have won it. They need, for me, 2 more points to be safe. With Liverpool this weekend, Newcastle next weekend, there is a scenario where Arsenal could drop out of that top 5 race, but they have a big insurance policy of Southampton away on the last day of the season. So it is very unlikely that they do. But man, could you imagine the meltdown in their fan base? I think Liverpool made too many changes against Chelsea last week and played very lackluster. I would be surprised if Slot was going to do the same at Anfield in front of the Liverpool fans. So I expect a bounce back and a response from Liverpool. I'm going to go Liverpool 2, Arsenal 0. Arsenal have got PSG this week. If they fall out of that, then they better damn well start focusing on the league again. And they're going to end up potentially trophyless. What do you guys think? And that's your 10 games for this huge week coming up in the Premier League. Get your predictions in the comments down below and let me know who you think the top 5 will finish as when that final whistle blows on game week 38. If you haven't already, please don't forget to hit that like button. Make sure you subscribe to the Footy Network if you are new. Good luck to your teams if your teams are still even playing for anything this season. And we'll see you on the next video. Have a great day.